Hello everyone, welcome to EdCam channel. In this video lecture, we are going to continue electrochemistry. The subtopic that we are going to discuss resistance, conductance, specific conductivity, molar conductivity, and Collar's law. So this is a picture shows about the weak electrolyte, how the molar conductivity will differ. In the further slide, we're going to discuss about this whole graphs. So without a doubt, let's start. So now let's talk about the resistance. I think you must have familiar with this resistance in your 12th class topic. Now a bigger question is why we are reading resistance in electrochemistry. So as we already know that a piece of metal is a good conductor of electricity because the piece of metal has free electrons and that free electrons will flow through this metal and that metal is going to complete a circuit. That's why we are calling this metal piece is a good conductor of electricity. But now why we are reading this resistance in this electrochemistry? Because you see in the metal piece there are electrons, right? But in the electrochemistry we are going to deal with solutions. So a solution we are going to take in a tube, and in that tube we are going to connect this solution with external potential, and in this solution, so in the tube we are going to put electrolyte. Okay, so now electrolyte has different ions, so this ions is going to complete the circuit. So this is nothing but our electrolyte solution, and this electrolyte solution is going to produce ions. Okay, and that ion is going to flow, and that ion is going to complete the whole circuit. That's why we are going to read resistance and conductance. Now as we have learned in the physics that resistance is nothing but the opposing force. We know that V is equal to IR, potential is equal to current into resistance. So to using this resistance, we are going to derive all the formulas in the electrochemistry. Now, what is the unit of resistance? Unit of R, that is ohm. And we already know from the physics topic, R is directly proportional to L and R is inversely proportional to area. L is the length of the tube, A is the area of cross section. So as you can see that the resistance of a conductor is directly proportional to the length and inversely proportional to the area of cross section. So we can simply write R is equal to a constant of proportionality into L by A. So this constant of proportionality is known as rho, and this is called resistivity. Now let us understand what are the terms related to this formula. So R is representing your resistance. L by A is known as cell constant. So you remember L by A is known as cell constant. What is L by A? L is nothing but length of this tube and A is the area of cross section. And in the solution, ions are present and these ions is going to complete the circuit. Now, if I'll ask you a question, what is the unit of L by A? So let me know in the comment section what is the unit of L by A. Okay. So now let us discuss about conductance. Conductance is the reciprocal of resistance. Okay. So we can write G is equal to 1 by R. So if, as we already know that R is equal to rho L by A. So I am writing 1 by rho is resistivity, L divided by A, and that is equal to A divided by rho L. Okay. Now here, as we see that 1 by rho, so 1 by rho is called conductivity. And it is symbol is K. Okay. So K stands for kappa. Now we'll discuss about the units. So units, conductance. Unit is Simon, or in the short form we'll write only S. Okay. Resistance is ohm. K stands for conductivity. So conductivity unit is Simon per meter. Resistivity, rho. What is the unit of rho? Resistivity. Resistivity. Its unit is ohm meter. So you have to remember the unit of all these units and the formula for resistance, formula for conductance, resistivity, and cell constant. Now let's just talk about conductivity. So we have to learn two types of conductivity. One is equivalent conductivity. Second one is the molar conductivity. So equivalent conductivity, it tells about the conductance of solution containing 1 gram equivalent of an electrolyte. So as we are talking about some electrolyte, so we know that electrolyte is placed in one container. So from this container, if we think about the volume of this container is V, and some electrolyte is taken in the container. So what will happen? The ions present in the container, they are going to move, right? So the equivalent conductivity is the conductance produced by this solution where the volume is V and the solution is taken as 1 gram equivalent. So the equivalent conductivity is given by lambda EQ, that is equal to conductivity K into volume. As we are talking about gram equivalent, so we have to convert that solution into normality. So the in terms of normality, this expression can be given as conductivity into 1000 divided by normality, and the unit is Simon centimeter square per equivalent. So the equivalent conductivity is given by kappa into 1000 divided by normality. Using this formula, we have to solve the numericals. The SI unit for equivalent is equal to Simon meter square per equivalent. So in the exam, they will ask you about calculate the equivalent conductivity. So directly we have to put this formula to solve the numericals. Next, we'll talk about the molar conductivity. So as we have seen equivalent conductivity, we have taken this solution as equivalent. In the molar conductivity, we have to take 1 molar solution and we have to do the conductance. So in the molar conductivity, the solution taken is 1 molar. That is the only difference between molar conductivity and equivalent conductivity. So in terms of molar conductivity, we can say that is lambda, M stands for molar conductivity, is equal to conductivity, that is kappa or K, into 1000 divided by M. M is the molarity. And the unit we can use, that is Simon centimeter square per mole. If we'll talk about the SI unit, that is equal to Simon meter square per mole. In the exam, they will give you molarity and we have to find the molar conductivity. So these two formulas are very important. We have to remember. So now it's question time. Let us try to solve two questions. So first question ask about the conductivity of 0.25 molar solution of KCl at 300 Kelvin is given by this. Calculate the molar conductivity. So before I solve, you pause this video and solve it by yourself and check whether you are correct it or not. So let us first write what are the data given. The conductivity of 0.2 molar solution. So he is given the kappa K is equal to 0.0275 Simon per centimeter, and molarity is given by 0.25 molar. of KCl solution, and he is asking about calculate the molar conductivity. As we know that molar conductivity is given by K kappa into 1000 divided by molarity. So putting the value of kappa and molarity, that is 0.0275 into 1000 divided by molarity is given by 0.25. Okay, so if we'll solve this value, we will get 110 Simon centimeter square per mole. So why it is centimeter square? You see, this is centimeter. Okay, that's why it's centimeter square. Now let's solve question number 2. The resistance of conductivity cell is given by this solution at 289 Kelvin, and this is the 1500 ohm resistance is given. What is the cell constant if the conductivity of 0.001 molar KCl solution at 298 Kelvin is this? So let us try to solve this question. So now we know that conductance is given by K kappa into A by L. Now we have to change this equation. So he is given the cell constant. Our cell constant is L by A. So to change this equation in terms of L by A, we have to arrange. Just change this equation. That is L by A is equal to K by G. K by G can be expressed as R is equal to 1 by G, right? R is equal to 1 by G. So putting this formula, this is cell constant. So this is cell constant L by A, cell constant is equal to K kappa into R, resistance. Kappa value is given that 0.146 into 10 to the power minus 3. Kappa value is 0.146 into 10 to the power minus 3. Resistance is given 1500. If we'll solve this value, we will get 0.219 per centimeter, because you see it's not meter, it's per centimeter, because this is centimeter. Okay, so cell constant is given by this value. Now let us discuss about variation of molar conductivity with concentration. So as we have discussed about the conductivity, so conductivity is nothing but the flow of ions, right? We have taken the solution and we are measuring the conductivity. As we see that the movement of ions in the solution that are depend upon the types of electrolyte. So there are two types of electrolyte. One is the strong electrolyte, another is the weak electrolyte. Depending upon the electrolyte, the molar conductivity will vary. As we know that the conductivity, that is nothing but the flow. So we are talking about this conductivity. So this is nothing but your flow. So if the ions can flow easily, that means we can say that that is more conductivity. If the ions cannot flow very easily, we will say that that is weak conductivity or weak molar conductivity. The types of electrolyte that we use for the experiment will vary depending upon the strong electrolyte or weak electrolyte. So now let us understand how the molar conductivity will behave accordingly. Molar conductivity versus concentration. Okay, so as we are talking about the concentration, the strong electrolyte versus weak electrolyte. So for strong electrolyte, the molar conductivity and concentration, they will show this kind of graph, whereas for weak electrolyte they will show this kind of graph. Okay, now let us just understand how the for strong electrolyte will show this kind of graph. So as we see that the molar conductivity and concentration, so as the concentration is very high, the molar conductivity is very low, whereas if we decrease the concentration, the molar conductivity will increase. How that is going to possible? So what we are doing, let us take one electrolyte here. This is the concentration. Okay, So as we see that whenever we are decreasing the concentration means we are increasing the dilution. Okay. So as we are diluting the solution or electrolyte, as we see that the molar conductivity will increase. You see, this is the increasing graph. Okay. Why? Because as we are diluting the solution, the ion present in the solution, they can move freely. The ions present in the solution can move freely. So as we see that more is the dilution, that is nothing but the decrease in concentration. Okay. So this ion can move freely. So that create the more flow. If more flow is there, we can say that the molar conductivity is more. So the graph will look like this. And the equation is given by lambda m is equal to lambda m naught minus k into c to the power 1 by 2 or root over c. So we take this equation and let us understand. So lambda m is equal to lambda m naught. This is molar conductivity at infinite dilution. Okay. At infinite dilution minus k is some constant root over c. This equation is nothing but y is equal to mx plus c. This is y is equal to, this is m, this whole thing is m, and that slope is negative slope. Okay. mx. This is c term. If slope is negative, the graph will looks like this. Okay. So here you can see that whenever we are decreasing the concentration, the molar conductivity is going to increase, and it is going to touch the molar conductivity at some point. Okay. If the solution is more dilute, that is known as molar conductivity at infinite. Okay. Now let us take how weak electrolyte will behave. So the weak electrolyte graph is like this. Now a bigger question is, why for strong electrolyte it will be a straight line, for a weak electrolyte the graph is a curved graph, because the ions is not going to completely dissociate. As we know that weak electrolyte dissociate partially. So what will happen? The ions are not going to produce rapidly. They will produce very, very slowly. So the graph will be looks like this. Now, as we are diluting the solution, we are putting more and more water, and the concentration is going to decrease. So what will happen? As the concentration decreases in the x-axis graph, the molar conductivity is slowly increasing, but at some point of time the molar conductivity touches to infinity. You take any weak electrolyte, that is not going to completely dissociate. So if completely not dissociate, that means we are not going to get any point on the y-axis. For exam point of view, you remember these two graph, and you remember this equation. Okay. So next let us discuss about Collard's law. So the Collard's law statement says about, at infinite dilution, the molar conductivity of an electrolyte can be expressed as sum of contribution of individual ions. So to explain this concept, let us take the previous one. Like we have discussed, dilution and concentration, they are inversely proportional to each other, right? So what we are doing, we are taking so many electrolytes. So that electrolyte can be strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte. Okay. So as we have discussed, if you are diluting the solution, so the concentration is going to decrease. How it is going to happen? You see, concentration is equal to number of moles per volume. So if you are diluting, that means the volume is going to increase, and obviously the concentration is going to decrease. So for strong electrolyte, as we have discussed, the graph is going to look like this. So this is the point we have discussed. This point is molar conductivity at infinite dilution as we are decreasing the concentration. Okay, so at infinite dilution it can be lambda m naught, or some book says about lambda m infinite. At infinite dilution the contribution will be summation of the individual ions. Okay, so how can we express that? Expressed by, that is n number of ions of cation infinite dilution, I am writing here positive, plus n minus, that is number of ions of anion infinite dilution. So for weak electrolyte it is difficult to calculate because we saw the graph at very low concentration or infinite dilution we cannot predict the lambda m naught value. Okay, so how can you apply this concept in the expression? So let us learn. So let us write the expression for strong electrolyte NaCl. So as we know that for strong electrolyte NaCl, the ions will be Na plus Cl minus. So how can you write the molar conductivity at infinite dilution? So that is lambda m naught is equal to, as we have expressed, n of lambda plus naught plus n minus lambda minus of n naught. Okay, we have to write this expression for NaCl. So how can you write lambda m naught NaCl is equal to, here number of ions, n represent your number of ions. So positive cation is 1, so that is 1 into lambda Na plus naught plus lambda Cl minus naught. So these values will be given in the exam and we have to just add those values and we can find out the molar conductivity of NaCl at infinite dilution. So based upon this formula, let us try another one. For an example, MgCl2. So MgCl2 is strong electrolyte. It is easy to find out the infinite dilution of MgCl2. So lambda MgCl2 at infinite dilution will be, so just find out the cation and anion in MgCl2. The cation is Mg2 plus 2Cl minus. Here n plus is 1. So lambda Mg2 plus infinite dilution plus, here n minus is 2. So I am writing 2 lambda Cl minus infinite dilution. So this will be the expression for lambda MgCl2 at infinite dilution. So in the exam, they will give you this value, put the values and we have to get the answer. Okay. So the next one, let us try to find out for weak electrolyte. For weak electrolyte, it is difficult to find out, but exam point of view, we can write for an example, acetic acid. So when it is going to dissociate, that is going to give CH3COO minus plus H plus. So lambda acetic acid at infinite dilution will be, here coefficient is 1. So CH3COO minus naught plus lambda H plus M naught. So this will be the expression. In the exam point of view, they will give you these values and you can find out the lambda acetic acid. Again, we can relate this concept with ionic equilibrium. So as we know that degree of dissociation, that is alpha, is expressed as lambda, alpha is expressed as lambda m with some concentration C divided by lambda m at infinite dilution. And we already know that Ka is equal to C alpha square by 1 minus alpha. So this two expression is also used in the formula. Now take home message is, we have to remember this formula to find out the molar conductivity at infinite dilution. And how can you write molar conductivity for electrolytes and for weak electrolytes, and degree of dissociation, how that is related with molar conductivity, and using that molar conductivity, how that is related with the acid dissociation constant. So now it's question time. Try question number 3. So you pause this video and try this. Let us try to find out the solution for question number 3. So I want you to pause this video and solve all this question, and after that check whether you are corrected or not. Okay. It tells the question number 3. The resistance of 0.01 molar concentration is given for acetic acid solution is found to be 2220 ohm. Resistance is given when measured in a cell constant 0.366 per centimeter. Given that lambda m naught of H plus and acetate ion is this and this, calculate the following. So conductivity G can be expressed as cell constant divided by resistance. Okay. So what is the cell constant value? 0.366 divided by resistance is given 2220. So if we'll solve this, we'll get 1.648 into 10 to the power minus 4. So what is the unit? The unit is Simon per centimeter. So here why it is centimeter? Because this is centimeter is given. Okay. Next one, we have to find out the molar conductivity, that is lambda m. So as we already know, molar conductivity is given by conductivity into 1000 divided by molarity. So the conductivity is 1.648 into 10 to the power minus 4 divided by molarity is given 0.01. So 0.01 molar into 1000. So if we'll solve this value, we will get 16.46 Simon centimeter square per mole. Now he is asking degree of dissociation, that is nothing but alpha. So as I have told you, alpha is nothing but molar conductivity at some concentration divided by molar conductivity at infinite dilution. So molar conductivity at some concentration is given by 16.46 and at infinity it is given by, so lambda m at infinity. So we need to find out this value lambda m at infinity. So lambda m at infinity. So what is this m? M is nothing but he is asking about the acetic acid. So at acetic acid we can find out the infinity as, this is lambda acetic acid at infinity can be expressed as lambda infinity CH3COO minus plus lambda H plus infinity. Okay. So as these two values are given 40.9 and 349.1, so we can express as, first one is this value is given as 349.1 plus H plus is given as 40.9. So this is 40.9. Okay. So if you'll add it, we'll get 390. Okay. So this is the lambda naught of acetic acid. So which is given as lambda m or that acetic acid solution. So the value is 390. So if we'll solve it, we'll get 0.0422 and it is the unitless quantity. Okay. Next one, dissociation constant. So this K is equal to C alpha square 1 minus alpha. As we know that applying approximation, so 1 minus alpha is equal to 1. So we can write C alpha square. So the concentration is given as 0.01. Alpha we have calculated 0.0422 square. And just solve this value, we will get 1.76 into 10 to the power minus 5. So let us now try to learn the extrapolation of Euler's law. This concept many exams they don't ask, but JEE advanced point of view it is important. So if molar conductivity are not available, then we can find out by following method. Okay. So the concept says about, as we have discussed, for weak electrolyte, it is very difficult to find out the lambda naught value, right? So for an example, acetic acid, because for weak electrolyte at very high dilution or very low concentration, this graph is going to touch infinity. It's not going to touch the y-axis. So it is very difficult to find out for weak electrolyte. So for weak electrolyte, how can you find out the molar conductivity? Two statements are given, so we have to follow this. Select the three strong electrolyte such that sum or difference of molar conductivity of their ions of weak electrolyte. Okay. So let us try to find out the molar conductivity of a weak electrolyte. So let us take the example of acetic acid. So as we have expressed, molar conductivity of acetic acid can be expressed as molar conductivity of acetate ion plus molar conductivity of H plus ion. Now, experimentally, finding the value of acetate ion and H plus ion is very difficult. But we can find out the molar conductivity of acetic acid by taking strong electrolyte. Okay, so he is asking about three strong electrolyte. So now take strong electrolyte, which will give the expression for this acetic acid. Okay, so consider this is as equation 1. So strong electrolyte example is lambda sodium acetate. I'm writing here CH3 COO Na. This will give CH3 COO minus plus lambda Na plus. Okay, so as this is strong electrolyte, so we can find out the strong electrolyte at infinite dilution. Okay, because we have already seen that this graph is going to cut the y-axis. So whenever that is going to cut, that point is known as infinite dilution. Next one, let's take the example of HCl. So lambda HCl at infinite dilution will be lambda H plus infinite dilution plus lambda Cl minus at infinite dilution. So this we can easily find out because HCl is strong electrolyte. Take another example, NaCl, infinite dilution, lambda Na plus infinite dilution plus lambda Cl minus infinite dilution. So take this equation as equation 2, take this equation 3, take this equation 4. Now we want to get the expression for equation 1. So how can you get the equation for expression 1? As these values are already known, because these values experimentally we can calculate, but experimentally we cannot calculate the values of acetic acid. So that's why what I am doing, add equation 2 and 3 and subtract equation 4. So add equation 2 plus 3 and subtract equation 4. So if we'll do this, 1 and 2 is going to add and subtract equation 3. So there will be minus and minus. So you will find out this Na and Na will be cancelled out. Cl minus and Cl minus will be cancelled out. So rest of the part is value of this and this. So which is the expression for weak electrolyte. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any doubt or queries, you can write to me. I have given my email ID in the description below. So just check it. And if you want to get more videos like this, subscribe to Edcam channel. And if you want to connect with me with my social media account, my Instagram and Twitter handle is this. Signing off.